Heading right down. Chapter number 7, Agency Law. Chapter number 7, Agency Law. Chapter number 7, Agency Law. Who is known as agent? Any idea? Agents. What is mean by agency law? See, if you look at corporate businesses, shareholders, they own the business. They are the people who invest. But someone else run the business. That is we call management. Management do not invest in the business. What they do is, we call them as stewards. Like, they are taking shareholders' money, they are taking shareholders' resources, and they should expand that resource base. In that way, they should manage the business, right? And always this particular management is representing shareholders with the third party. For example, if you are borrowing a loan for a company, who is borrowing that money? Management. But if losses arise, who is going to suffer? Shareholder. So therefore, in between third party and shareholder, management is always agent, right? So agent always become a figurehead of principal. Shareholders means principal, right? So the principal agent relationship should be smooth always. Principal and shareholder, principals and the agents, between these two parties, the relationship should be perfect. So in this agency law, we are going to look at what legal arrangements are provided between these two parties, right? So let's start with the relationships. So write it down. Agent, principal, and third party. Actually, agent negotiate with third party. Agent negotiate with third party. But the contract is made in between principal and the third party. So there is a relationship between these two, that is we call principal agent relationship. Principal agent relationship. Copy this principal agent relationship. So if you look at relationship between principal and agent, that should be smooth. So we are going to discuss agency law and how it's affect the relationship between these two parties, right? Agency law clearly define what are the roles and responsibilities of agent, what are the roles and responsibilities of principal. If we understand that, we know our limit and we work in line with that. Sometime if you look at in the real world examples, did you heard about a company called Enron? No. Today after class, go home and in your YouTube type and see Enron. Right? It's a company which collapsed. It's the largest company in the world. Right? So it is collapsed because of self-interest. So when this particular agents try to maximize their own interest rather than maximizing shareholder interest. Principal interest you should maximize as agent. If you try to maximize your own interest, that is we call principal agent conflict. Principal agent conflict. Is it clear? That is not good for the corporate, right? Subheading write down types of agents. Types of agents. Partners. So partners also agents. Company directors, agents. Commercial agents. Commercial agents. Give me an example for commercial, because you know partnership, right? And if you look at company directors, there is also management. Who is commercial agents? Commercial agents. Give me an example for commercial agents. Maybe yes, like let's say if you have a property, if you want to sell that property, right? There are brokers, right? Can you remember? You call them and you gave the information and ask them to sell. That is not their property, but they have a right to sell. They find the customers and they communicate, they show, and they try to sell. That is agent, commercial agents. And promoters. Promoters. Who is promoter? The person who start a company, a person who form a corporate. That person called promoter, right? And brokers also agents. Is it clear, students? These are the types of agents. Next point, write it down. The relationship of principal and agent. The relationship between principal and agent is created by mutual consent most of the times, right? See, the agency relationship is not always contractual. No, it is not like that. For example, let's say in my home there is a person who come and do work, right? Like in the housework or house related works he do, right? Whether work is there or not, every day he'll come around 7 o'clock, sharp 7 o'clock he'll be at home, right? Whether work is there or not, right? So daily we should give 2,000 rupees to him. INR somewhere around 600 to 700 rupees per day, right? Because from my grandfather's time onwards, their family, like they are coming and being with us, right? So whether work is there or not, now it's a third generation coming, right? And they do, if there is any work, he will do. Now for my home, right? If anything need to buy, that person is responsible. He will go and buy and come, because most of us are out. Okay. See, we don't have any contractual agreement between us, right? I didn't appoint him as an agent, but by implied terms means by perception. If that person go and ask something from a shop, right, this house need this much of things, they said they will give money later, the shop owner will give. What I am trying to tell you is, agency relationship is not always contractual. Sometimes it is implied, non-contractual also, based on the behavior. Yes or no? You got my point? Right. Therefore, write it down. Formation of agency. Formation of agency. Let's see how to form agency relationship. Formation of agency. There are two ways to form an agency. Number one is express agreement. Express agreement. For example, I can say director appointment. Example, director appointment. For a company, directors are appointed in a contract form. That is express agreement. Agency relationship is formed. Is it rained here yesterday? Rain? No. Sri Lanka, it's a public holiday today. All the schools are closed. Workplaces, everything is closed. Red. Okay. South side raining, right? That's why okay. This time the flight also the flight took 2.5 hours. Very slow, and it's I don't know what happened, but 2.5 hours. It's red alert in Sri Lanka. Everywhere flooded and all. Right? Next one, students, implied terms. Implied terms. Fine. Example, agent by conduct. Agent by conduct. Agent by conduct. Agent by conduct. Right. This was happened to my brother's shop. Right. There was a sales representative for a company. Actually, that fellow did a fraud. What he did was, let's say if you are working for a company as a sales representative, normally you collect checks and payments, everything you have a right to collect. You are an agent. This fellow, what did is he resigned, and after his resignation, he prepared visa and all for overseas, right, to migrate. And at the last moment, again, he came to all the shops and collect the money. Without giving to company, he migrated. So my brother also gave somewhere around 150,000 rupees. That amount should be given to, some shops give checks, some shops will give cash, right? And that person gave the receipts also. But that person is not working now. So almost huge lakhs of amount, right? That person disappeared, he migrated. Now, if company file case against my brother, what will be the solution for this? You got my point what I'm saying? Because in my brother's perspective, it is an implied term. By conduct, earlier also this person came and collect the money, right? So he is an agent, so he have a right to do that. So company should inform if such person is resigned or removed, right? Immediately for all the suppliers or customers, company have a right to notify that. You got my point? That's why some scams happens at that time, like in the newspapers and medias also, they're telling, be aware of this person. This person is not belongs to our company. Why? To break that agency relationship. Because agency relationship is not only formed in express agreement. If it is express agreement, no problem, right? But there are by conduct also. Is it clear? Right. Now students, subheading write down, liability of agent. Liability of agent. Liability of agent. / write down authority of agent. Liability of agent or authority of agent. Fine. See students, this term is not explained in your tute, right? But let's take that also, right, for a knowledge purpose. There are two concepts called intravirus and ultravirus. Did you heard this term before? Intravirus and ultravirus, right? See here, when I'm teaching, some students come and ask some administrative issues, right? Some administrative payments related problems, administrative related problems, all right? registration related problems. Then I said, please talk to management. Because I don't have an authority or right to take all management decisions. Certain decisions we can take, but certain decisions we can't take. Therefore, when I am working for Arivu as an agent, it's my duty to know my scope, my limit. If I move beyond my limit, that is called ultra virus. When an agent is taking a decision beyond his limit, that is we call, beyond his authority, that is we call what? Ultra virus. Within his limit we call intra virus. Is it clear? So when we are talking about the liability of the agent, first point, write it down. Agent do not have liability to a third party. Liability to a third party. An agent who enter into a contract, but an agent who entered into a contract with a third party, on behalf of principal, it make principal liable to third party. So if you make a contract with a third party within your authority level, then who is liable? Principal. When you are making a contract beyond your authority level, you don't have authority to make the contract, sign the contract, but you are doing that, then you are personally liable. Is it clear? Because you are not an agent. Therefore, we need to analyze agent's authority. So, subheading, write down authority of the agent. Subheading, write down authority of the agent. Authority of the agent. Right. If you look at the authority, types of authority of the agent, first one is express authority. Second one is implied authority. Third one is actual authority. Fourth one is apparent authority. These are the 4 types of authorities. Copy this. Actual authority, apparent authority, implied authority, and expressed authority. Right. What is express authority? What is express authority? For example, Arivu is doing ACCA programs, but students results analysis means sometimes you might not understand, still you are doing foundation. If you come to skills level, did you aware about approved learning partner, platinum, gold, silver, that is we call ALP. So ALP documents need to be updated every year. So if that particular ALP status is renewable every year. For that, we should upload the results sheet analysis, that is we call RSA. If you are doing skills level exams or even foundation, right, a database is important. How many students sit for the exams, how many students cleared. So based on all these factors only, our ALP status is renewed. This particular task handled by us. No one else is doing. Right. So if you go and ask from someone here, right, what is ALP, what are the documents to be submitted, how to perform that, no one knows. But student registration, your registration is handled by here. So issue hand over registration document is handled by here. Payments handled by here. That particular task handled by ourselves. So what I am trying to tell you is, it is expressly mentioned the level of authority. So if you have any registration related issues, I am not in a position to interfere, because that is ultra virus, because it is not mentioned in the express authority. Clearly mentioned what we can do, what we can't do. Is it clear?